What's that? Timmy fell in the Sarlacc pit. Oh, right. Translation error. I'm Matthew Burchette, and this is a special Star Wars edition of Behind the Wings.
Don't try to frighten us with your sorcerer's ways, Lord Vader. Your sad devotion to that ancient religion has not helped you conjure up the stolen data tapes or given you clairvoyance enough to find the rebels hidden. Just kidding. Okay, welcome to Star Wars edition of Behind the Wings. This week, we're checking out our X-Wing and our Podracer. Awesome! Or should I say in Imperial Officer, awesome.
Alright, so if you've been living under a rock for about, say, since 1976, and you don't know what this is, let me fill you in. It's an Incom T-65 X-Wing fighter from the Star Wars universe. This is what the Rebels used to great effect to defeat the Imperial forces at the Death Star. Well, we are really incredibly lucky to have one of these at Wings Over the Rockies. In fact, we're the only place you're going to be able to see this thing. Why? Because there's none out there. The story is that in 1996, when Lucasfilm was going to re-release the first 3 movies, he wanted something that he could send around to theaters across the globe to really make a splash. Well, what's better than, duh, an X-Wing? This one actually was in Tokyo for a while and then ended up back in the United States when the promo was over. If, again, you're not familiar with the Star Wars universe, there's a little thing called Star Wars Celebration. Think of it as Comic-Con for just Star Wars geeks. Well, kind of like me. Anyway, so the absolute very first, none before it, Celebration 1 was held, bam, right here at Wings Over the Rockies. So we approached Lucasfilm and said, hey, can we keep this thing? And they hemmed and hawed, and we went back and forth, and apparently we cried really, really well. But they gave it to us for $1 a year. And so we have it on loan to us for the next, well, hopefully forever, because it's really got a great home here. So let's go check this thing out, and I'm going to point out some things that you guys don't know about it. Come on. Bam! I love that noise. Bam! Okay, so we're right here at one of the engines, and I want to point this out to you because when we got this thing, and this was way before my time, it didn't look nearly like it does now. It actually was kind of in beat-up shape. So the local Star Wars fans spent a lot of their own time and money to bring this thing the way you see it today. And one of these things that they did was they put lights in the engines so these light up. But even more awesome, or should I say awesomer, is R2-D2. Let's go see. Hi R2, how you doing, buddy? Hello? Are you up there? Oh, whoa, yeah, there he is. Okay. How cool is that we have a working R2? Now what I really love is that when kids come in here, of course they're drawn to the X-Wing because, well, it's Star Wars, but they come up to this thing and R2 talks to them and they freak out. It's just an amazing thing. So if you haven't seen any of it, kind of like our illustrious cameraman back there, you need to do something. Get out there. They're all on DVD. It's not that hard to watch. Anyway, let's go check out the cockpit because like I was saying, R2 is cool. The cockpit is even better. All right, see you, R2. We'll be right back. Haha. Now I'm a Imperial Rebel X-Wing pilot. I don't know. Anyway, so how cool is this? To be able to sit in an X-Wing cockpit with an X-Wing pilot's helmet on. Oh my gosh. This is just the coolest job ever. So one of the things that these guys are doing right now is they're actually going to improve this. if you're as old as I am, you remember a game that first came out in the 1970s called X-Wing Pilot. It's an arcade video game where you had the little targeting computer and you actually tried to launch your photon torpedoes down into the Death Star. They're actually gonna put that in this cockpit. So it'll really be like you're trying to destroy the Death Star. You're never gonna get me out of here. I am serious. I am gonna live in this thing. So now we're on the left side of the X-Wing because there's some signatures over here I've never really paid much attention to. So I brought in Jennifer Peterson, our kind of local X-Wing expert. Jennifer, thank you so much for appearing. And I would like to say she's also a super good friend of mine. Awesome. Anyway, tell us what we got going on over here.
In 2005, the X-Wing went on tour around the United States in celebration for the what was supposed to be the final film, which was Revenge of the Sith.
Okay, right.
Its first stop was Times Square in New York, where it was helping to launch the Dark Side M&M's campaign. And we had Anthony Daniels, who played C-3PO, signing.
Oh, very cool.
Yep.
Giant
Yep, that
scribble.
was done in Los Angeles in 2005 while it was on tour at the Fashion Industry and Design Museum.
Who is
that? That is George Lucas. Probably our most famous signature would be Harrison Ford.
Ooh, yeah.
Who signed it when he was being honored by Wings for the Spreading Wings Award.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And then our tallest one would be Peter Mayhew, who played Chewbacca.
Yep. Well, this is great. I have never really paid that much attention to what's going on with these signatures, so thank you very much.
Absolutely.
You guys and gals and aliens and rebels and Imperial people all watching this, stick around because now we're going to go check out something from earlier yet later in the Star Wars saga. So stick with us. Come on. Anakin's Podracer. How cool is that? Now, everybody thinks, oh my gosh, that's the one that was used in the movie. No, it wasn't. There's no sand in it from Tunisia or anything like that. It was actually built by Nintendo. Well, why Nintendo? Well, Nintendo released a game right after Phantom Menace. Episode 1, Phantom Menace, came out. Well, this was just like the X-Wing. It was an advertising gimmick. So it was there at Nintendo headquarters in Seattle, Washington for a while. And then when the game actually got out there and started selling, they actually gave this thing to the Museum of Flight in Seattle. Now, a buddy of mine works there. And so a couple of years ago, I said, hey, what are you doing with that thing? And he goes, it's in crates. And I said, can we have it? And he goes, yeah, I'll loan it to you. Bam. Here you go, Anakin's Podracer. But not only do we have Anakin's Podracer, we've got, bam, Anakin. The Rebel Alliance is too well equipped. They're more dangerous than you realize. You know what else is dangerous? The B-18, or at least it was in the 1930s. Not so much now. Why are we talking about the B-18? Because that is what we're going to be talking about on our next episode. Tune in because there are not a lot of these guys left, and you're going to want to check it out.